so much thing, much to do. So I can understand. So no issues. You can start seeing the videos, and you can start attempting the activity practice questions as well. So today is the first session of the week 12. As you both are not watched the week 12 videos yet, so uh, I think today's session will be very beneficial for you as for solving the activity question and practice graded whatever the question we are given to you. So it will be very beneficial. And one more thing I just want to share that uh, at the Friday session and the Saturday session. Okay. So Bimlesh, are you raising your hand?
No, I was like clapping for the comment that is going to be very beneficial. That means something important is going.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. So yeah. So yeah. So one more informational thing that I want to share with you that on Friday we have Professor Nitin with us. So anything you can one minute. Okay. So yeah, so on Saturday, on Friday session, we have Professor Nitin with us. So anything regarding very detailed thing that you want to ask to the professor, sir, so you can come to that session and you can ask. So yeah, today will be. That's why I am planning to tell you something very basic, such that if you will solve the activity question and practice question, you will be uh, getting benefits from the today's session as well. So yeah, so today I want, okay, 1 minute. Yeah, so yeah, today we will be starting our session as we have started in our earlier live session. So today I'll be presenting you some of the slides, as you know, and you're familiar with the Mentimeter, Menti. So you have some of these slides. I will show you the slides, and you should have to answer that. And whatever you have information about that particular question, you can answer, and we can easily discuss upon that according to my understanding, and with the combination of your understanding, we can easily discuss, and it will I think it will favor you in any case if you are solving the activity or practice questions in future, if you are watching the videos of week 12. And yeah, so it will definitely going to help. So let me share my screen. So okay, so I just want you to I just want to ask you that your quiz 3 had happened, right? Had been open over
21st, yes, it was.
21st, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how was that?
Yeah, I mean, not bad, if I can say.
Okay, not bad. I can see in the discourse that many people are saying that they have an issue with the JavaScript code. So are you feeling
Last last hour study helped a lot.
yeah, I can understand. So
Actually, there were concern was like majority of the which questions came from JavaScript and all, but then it was quite logical also. Question
mm,
logical in nature, so that way that was not much of a problem.
okay. So you have the attempted the mock papers, right?
Yeah, we went through the live session for which mock test, mock quiz.
Revision, right?
Not
Revision of
Saturday.
mock.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I think if you had attended that session, you must be some familiar with the JavaScript concepts, I think.
Yes. So today
Yeah,
what we can do like this after you're done with Menti questions, can you
yeah.
also cover the concepts of week 12, particularly deployment? If you have anything to show how to deploy on Heroku or anything else.
Okay, so see, Bimlesh, we are planning to have a session with all of these
Why?
students.
Because on Friday, like you said, Friday prof is there, and
Yeah, yeah.
Saturday there's open sessions. So if any difficulty or clarity which is required regarding deployment, that can also be discussed on Friday. That's why I requested.
Yeah, Bimlesh, I think we are planning among our course team that we had one session in this last week, as it is our last week. So we are planning to have a session that you have been, you have, we have to teach you that.
Also one query like 27th of this month, this open after this open session for week 12, and
Okay,
then Vivas start from 1st of December.
December, yeah.
Will there be any such sessions on application development, even though Vivas are going on?
I don't think so, but we
Okay,
have
get
to
it.
discuss. Yeah, we have to discuss if anyone want that session. If majority of the student are demanding that we want a session, so we can discuss it. But according to me,
Hardly people are joining live sessions. So how can majority of people be demand?
no, yeah. I was just saying the same that I don't think that after week 12 when anyone come and attend the live session. I don't think so. So
Okay.
yeah. So on Saturday, I think that we will be having our last session. So yeah, we'll be discuss about amongst the team member, and we'll get back to you that I think we are planning to give you a session on deployment, live deployment. So I think in this week only we're planning this session. So today the session is basically among the theoretical part. Okay, so why I'm telling the theoretical part, because I think when professors are come, or if any session we are planning that on which you are teached the concepts of deployment and how it is done and how it is deployed live so I think first of all we had some theory concepts with us. Okay, so it will be beneficial for you too, and the viewers who are seeing that this on YouTube or anywhere. So I think before going to that extent, we have to see some of the concepts that will basically help in that. Okay, before going to
Okay,
that
ma'am.
session. Okay,
Thank you.
so let me first share my screen. Okay.
Minty.com code.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm giving you the code, but let me. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so let me present it first. Okay, yeah. So this is please go to the menti.com, and you all are familiar with that process, that enter this code and or use that QR code. You can log in. Okay, one person has been logged in. So okay, we have 3 participants. So all of you, please, I request that you should be participating in this. Okay, one more. So I am audible clearly, right? Is
Yes,
there
yes.
any
No
flash?
lag.
Yes, you're audible.
No lag.
Okay. Thank you. One more participant who is left. Bimlesh, Kumar, and Sharian. Who is left? Is anything wrong? Okay. If any issue coming, you can refresh the page or you can try once again. Is anyone left? Oh, I can see only two participants here. Who is left?
I have joined. Nobody has left.
Nobody is left. Okay, so I can see three participants, and here I
Yes,
can see only.
temporarily other guy might have been, I mean, moved somewhere else. He'll come again and join.
Okay, okay.
What
So
I'll do, I'll keep the Menti code in the chat.
okay, okay. Thank you, please. Okay, just paste it in the chat. Okay. So let us go to our first question. Okay. So can you see my screen and the question?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, so our question is what is the difference between functional text testing and non-functional testing? So I just request you to give your inputs on that. It will be good to see you participating in this session. Everyone. It is basically from week 10, right? Testing and all. So you can give some of the ideas about it. It's not that you have to give a very detailed answer, but yeah, some aspect you can give. So I'll wait for 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, let me hide it first. I will reveal the solution at the end. Okay, one solution is there. I'm waiting for the other two. And the person who is not logged in, please, if you're logged in, then it will be beneficial for you and for us also. We could actively participate in the session as
Thing is already Vivas are going on for DBMS. So that
yeah, I know. I am also proctoring that, so I can see that how students are just hardworking day and night for giving vivas and DBMS vivas, and just after that, this week we have abdev vivas, so I can understand. No issues. So we have one more participant. I don't see who is that. So whoever is joined now, you can please you can go to that menti.com and uh, log in there with the code. And if someone had the code, please paste on the chat. I can't see chat.
I pasted again.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we have three answers. Okay, let me reveal that. Okay, functional testing means all function in the code is been tested. Okay. Functional testing is based on business requirements, while non-functional testing is based on performance requirement. Okay. Non-functional testing uses performance, usability, and reliability. Okay. According to me, all of you had answered very, very well. So let me add some of the points. Yeah, uh, this is the points you have written is correct. So just 1 minute. How can I minimize that? 1 minute. Okay. So
When you explain, please say what is the difference between function coverage and functional testing also. Please.
Okay. Functional testing and functional coverage. Okay,
Because the first
I'll
answer looks like functional coverage. Function coverage.
functional testing means all the functions in the code is being tested. Yeah, this is one aspect, but what you are talking about functional coverage, yeah, it is also a part of functional testing. So I'll be discussing it in my
Okay.
okay. So let me first give you first ask you that this is here I'm asking that what is difference between functional testing and non-functional testing? Can someone tell me that what is testing? And before going to testing, sorry, before going to software testing, it is a type of software testing, right? Functional testing and non-functional testing. This both are a kind of software testing. So can someone tell me what do you mean by software testing? You can give any answer.
Yes, I mean, based on the business requirement, testing the a piece of software written, either preliminary or intermediate, whether that
Yeah.
is meeting the business requirement or not.
Okay. Yeah.
Whether the entire the business logic, I mean, is there any problem in the flow of the code?
Yeah. Okay. So who is speaking, Bimlesh? Sharian? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. You're asking about what is software testing, correct?
Yeah.
Is it just to check whether the software is working as expected and where it could fail?
Okay. So yeah, that is fine. What you are saying, that is fine, and what Bimlesh says, it is also fine. So let me just give you an overview and a description. Okay. Who is speaking?
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's Kumar.
Okay, sorry, Kumar. I can't hear you. Can you speak some loud?
Okay, in general, we can say that the functional testing is that where uh, we check actually that our all software or the function is that action done by the function is working properly or not.
Yeah.
Whereas that we say that about the non-functional testing, that this readability or the performance or scalability, the
Yeah.
this all is working properly or not. It is scalable or not.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that you are also right. So, see, software testing, right? So, first of all, I just want to remind you that what is software. So, just if in general terms, what is software? Software is generally a set of instruction that we give to the computer, right? Basic instruction, whatever. Uh, just like, for example, we have a internet browser software, right? So let us assume that how it is possible that we can surf through the internet without this software. So whenever we have a real life problem, it can be solved with the help of virtual world solution, which we can also refer to as software. Okay, software is something that that kind of instruction that we give to a computer in order to solve our real life problem. Okay, in order to build, so now in order to build that software, we have followed very we have no known steps, right? We have known steps called SDLC. As you all have familiar with the term SDLC, what is that? Software development life cycle. So in software development life cycle, what we do, we had certain steps to uh, perform or to write or implement certain softwares. Okay, so within the SDLC, we have certain models like waterfall model, and we have agile model. So see, if we see in the waterfall model, I can okay, wait. So if we see the waterfall model, see, first stage of the waterfall model is what? Requirement. Okay, requirement. Second one is the design. This is, I'm talking about the waterfall model. And third is that implementation. Implementation. Okay. Fourth is that testing. Okay. And last one is the maintenance. Okay. So testing is one of the stage or one of the phase in our SDLC model. What is SDLC? SDLC is what we can say that it is a model through which we can easily develop our software. So testing is one of the phase. This is clear, right? Testing is one of the phase that we implement or we perform in order to build a software. Okay. So now, what do you mean by testing in simple terms? If in simple terms, testing. Okay, in some simple terms, software testing is a process used to identify the correctness, completeness, and quality of the developed computer software. So let's say I have my first stage, I have a requirement gathering. So what we'll do, let's say I have a company XYZ and I'm a product owner of my company. So what I do, I'll gather requirements from my client. Let's say my client is some mobile company, say let's say Nokia, okay, Reliance, Nokia, anything. So my client, that is Nokia, he's giving me he's explaining me certain requirements that what he wants in that mobile, in their mobile. Okay, so I am a product owner of my company and I'm listening to him that, yeah, okay, say what will be your requirement. So let's say his requirement is I want a back cover, black back cover. I have a I want a LED at the bottom. I want a touch screen. This kind of requirement, he is telling to the product owner. So after gathering the requirement, what is done? Design. So basically in design phase, we design that how things to be done, that it will be matched with the requirement, or what is to be done. We just have an idea in our mind, okay, this can be done in order to fulfill the requirement that is given by the client. After that we have implementation. And implementation, this is a stage that developers comes into picture. Okay, so implementation is basically a phase that is done by the developers. Basically developers, what they do, they write code according to the requirements that the product owner explains him. Okay, that this requirement we want, and just write a code on that. After the implementation, it goes to the testing phase. So this phase, what we'll do, we, as I said earlier, we identify the correctness, completeness, and quality of the developed computer software. Who is developing the computer software? The developer. Okay, so after the development, the, the tester basically performs set of activities with the purpose of finding errors. This is the phase on which our main focus, sorry, the tester's main focus is to find errors, find bugs, so that it could be corrected before the product is released to the end user. Okay, so before going to the production environment, or before going to the client directly, in this process, we are basically focusing on the finding bugs. So in simple words, software testing is an activity to check the software system is bug free. Okay, so this is all about testing. So basically what we are doing in software testing, we are checking whether the actual software product matches with the expected requirements. Okay, and it also ensure that software product is defect free, bug free, and if there is any bug or error in the software, it can be identified early, that can be solved before delivery of the software product. Okay, so this is what we call this testing. So if we talk about the importance of testing, let's take an example to explain this. For example, let's say one user comes to our application to use it. So what will be their expected activity? They may try to log in, they may try to download something from your application, similar kind of action they might do. Okay, right? So what testing do? A good testing suite will test that your system doesn't break when bad data or unexpected actions are performed. What will happen when user do this? What will happen when user do that? All kind of thing we basically do in the this phase. Okay, if let's say if any user is performing any malfunction, if any user is performing any kind of thing that is causing defect in that software, how this application will going to that handle that, all kind of thing is testing in this phase. So this is all about what is testing. So now our question is types of testing, right? Types of, so basically we have two types of testing. Okay, we have two types of testing. We have functional and we have non-functional. Okay, we have two types of testing, functional, and let us see that what is the difference between two. So there are different kind of testing techniques. So you have been heard about regression testing, you have heard about white box testing, you have heard about black box, gray box, user acceptance, system text testing, integration testing, unit level cases. All this kind of thing, testing practices are grouped in two basic testing types. So first one is functional testing and non-functional testing. Second is one is the non-functional testing. So let me explain what is functional and non-functional, and how which of the testing practice comes into which. Okay, so first one is the functional testing. So what functional testing is a type of software testing. Okay, functional. Okay, let me clean that first. 1 minute. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. So 1 minute. I just write it neatly. So we have two types of testing: functional and non-functional. Okay. Functional and non-functional. Okay. So first one is functional. So functional testing is a type of software testing where the system is tested against all the functional requirements like technical details, data manipulation, process, and some other kind of functionalities. Basically, functional testing talks about how your features or software going to work. Okay, for example, let's say we have a the okay we will take the previous example. Let's say uh, that client, Nokia company client, we have a client, and our client is that Nokia company, and he or she has given us a requirement list that okay, I need a red light whenever I will switch off my phone. I will need a green light whenever it is switched on. I need an unlock pattern when anyone wants to open the phone. Uh, it uh, it must be a call accept, call decline button on my screen. This kind of requirements he had the client has given. Okay, so my after gathering these requirements, so after develop these requirements, that product owner give it to the developers. Okay, so the after developing that code, when it comes to tester, the tester will perform functional testing, and he or she must ensure that the requirement that is given by the client, this kind of requirement, this list of requirement, is matching or not. Okay, the functional testing is something that is given by client's customer. Okay, so this kind of requirements we generally taken from the client, right? So it is the customer who will tell that we want a software which would work like this, which will work like that. So we do a functional testing based on the customer's requirement. Okay, within the functional uh, testing, we have we have a unit testing, many kind of testing. I'll not going to explain all of them. It's like 10 to 20 kind of testing in, sorry, 10 to 15 kind of testing in functional testing. So the testing I'll explain over here is the thing that is sufficient for your course. Okay, so it is functional testing. We have regression, sorry, regression testing. We have integration testing. Okay, we have white box. We have black box testing. We have system acceptance. We have system. Sorry, I know that I'm not writing good, but okay, pardon. So yeah, so under functional testing, these all are types of functional testing itself. So let's quickly go to the non-functional, and then we'll discuss one by one that what is regression, what is unit testing and all. Okay, so let's see what is functional test, non-functional testing. So non-functional testing is a type of testing which checks the attribute of the system or an application, such as memory, performance, health of the system, scalability. Okay, I'll give you example, but before let me explain the definition first. So non-functional testing, that we are not checking the functionality. In functional testing, we are checking the functionality, which the functionality is working properly or not. But in non-functional testing, we generally not check the functionality. It is always done once the feature is stable, once the feature is fully developed. Okay, once the functionality is working fine, all the functionality is working fine, and you have done with all the types of testing. You have done regression testing, you have done black box, white box, integration, unit testing, all kind of functional testing. When you had done with all kind of testing, that then non-functional testing comes into picture. So basically non-functional testing is done to check and evaluate all the non-functional parameters which are not covered under the functional testing. Okay, so basically non-functional testing focuses on the performance of the system, the load, the capacity it can handle, how reliable your software in front of the client, how scalable your application is, how it will handle multiple user. Yeah, this kind of thing we can see that see in a non-functional testing. So let me give you an example. So let's say uh, we have a application. Okay, we have a web application, and on that web application we have certain attributes. Like now let okay no, this example I think I can give you some simple example that you can easily understand. Okay, let me give you this example. So yeah, let's say a user wants to log in into an application which you have developed. Let's say there is an application and user wants to log in that application. So he or she wants to sign in that account. So what will be done? It will generally go to the sign in button, and he will fill up all the detail, username, password, email address, whatever that is asking. They do, and after that the user is login onto the page. Okay, so see, this kind of here we are doing a functional testing. So these fields, that user is logging properly or not, user password is correct or not, it is validated or not, okay, so it is up to the validation or not, this kind of testing is functional testing. So let's say a user logged into the application, and after the logging into the application, a user wants to download anything, okay, download anything, or can go into some other page, or by clicking some link, this kind of thing. So see, when user is going to the next page, that loading time, if he is shuffling to one page to another page, it is down, if she or she is downloading anything, the time, the speed, the performance that application is giving that to the end user, it is the thing that is basically tested under the non-functional testing. Okay, so this is the basic difference. This is the basic difference you can see. So let me give you one more aspect of this. So see, uh, yeah. So basically, non-functional testing carry out and verify software action, whereas non-functional testing verify the performance of the software. Functional testing mainly concentrate on the user requirements, whereas non-functional testing concentrate basically on the system. How is your application, how the system is interacting with the user, how the system is built, how it is scaling, how it is reliable. So this kind of functionality is tested under the non-functional testing. So yeah, let us first see one by one this unit testing and all. So see, unit testing, in unit testing, what we'll do in unit testing is basically the first phase of testing that is done basically by the developers. Okay, unit testing is mostly done by the developers, and in this, what developer do, they prepare some of the test cases according to the user stories. User stories, I'll explain you in the next question what is user stories. But yeah, unit testing is something which written by the developers according to the bug or any kind of error they are expecting, and they will execute their code uh, against that test cases, unit test cases. Okay, so if there is any error, it was basically deals with this kind of testing in the first phase. Okay, this is kind of first phase. Second is the integration. Okay, where is integration? Okay, there, the second is the integration. So what in the integration, what we'll do, see, if you don't want to test your application in units, so see, here we are testing our application in units. So let's say our developer is preparing unit test cases, 3 unit test cases, let's say. But if you don't want to do that kind of practice, and you want to integrate the entire code and entire process, and then at last you have to you wanted to perform the testing, you can done integration testing. So integration testing is basically nothing but the integration of the modules, units, and see if the combined modules are working properly or not. Okay, so here we are testing individual modules separately. Okay, but in integration testing, all the modules are uh, combined, and then it is tested that it is working properly or not. So third is one is the system testing. Okay, now if you want to test the entire system and software on whole, and not to integrate them first and then test, so then so see what I am telling to say, let's say I have a company, and in that company we have 2 to 3 teams, and within that 2 to 3 teams we have developers. Okay, so let's say first team has 2 to 3 developers, second team has developers, third teams have developers. So what integration testing is doing? First, they integrate the code within that team, and they are testing. Integration testing is that. Okay. So, but in system testing, we are not doing integration. We are testing the system completely, that all modules are integrated first, and then the whole system is tested. Okay, so after the system testing, we have user acceptance testing. So in user acceptance testing, what we'll do, we'll handling the situation from the real world scenario according to the requirements and specification given by the client. So the client who will purchase. Okay, Kumar. Uh,
Yes, ma'am. Can I interrupt here one thing?
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We was solving for the some for the project or assignment, and we faced that some type of problem like that. Suppose we create a database integration, and in the database table we have a lots of table. Suppose five, six table, six, seven table is there, and it's all are connected. So we design and it's working fine. Then what happened? We study more the tutorial. We saw the more, and then come to know that okay, this particular thing I can modify it like that. So what's what's happening? So once we modified a single the database instances in the schema or the constraint, so entire things go corrupt. Means it's not working, and problem where happening, no, we don't know actually. So how can we organize and we can test this particular type of thing?
Okay, so you are talking about project, right?
Not project in general, that it is not project in general. We designed that the write of software which has the model, some database designing we write,
Yeah.
and we change the some schema and the problem comes. So in general, so how to keep track that where the problem and this my function is working properly or not, all the possibility. So what is the basic step practically to implement? So we can go and we can study more. So
Kumar, I can't understand your question properly. I think I can't understand your
how
question.
to debug that the whatever the database we made, it's
Yes.
What
yeah.
sorry, just to add, like how could we do this in Flask, for example, the testing? The
So
easiest way to do it in Flask.
Yes,
so we are using PyTest, right?
Yes.
So with the help of PyTest, you can create a unit test and can practice. See,
PyTest will be for code level kind of thing, where
yeah,
we can say, we can specify, we can assert that this function should give this output
yes.
and test like that. But let us say that there are some relations in the database table, and there are um, some constraints which are broken due to the code. How do we test this one?
Okay, so see, if you are developing locally, yeah, you are developing locally, right, on your system?
Uh, yes. Um,
Yeah.
means it is locally or that online, because that its net is on, so everything is also working. Sometime replit also, or sometime online server also. So all three environment we work simultaneously.
So see, this thing, I think this whole testing process is just, I am explain this functional, non-functional, whatever I had explained. This is in terms of industry, as far as I know. But if you are developing it locally on your computer and you are not deployed it yet, then I don't think so. There is a use of need of testing very much.
No,
Yeah.
we made it, and now I want to be deploy that particular application.
Yes.
And many things I also deployed on the
Hmm.
server. The 3-4 application I already deployed. So I want to think that how to basic steps we can do, at least the basic
For
idea.
testing purpose, right?
Yeah, because we didn't
Before
do.
deploying.
We made the many application,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I am getting, yeah.
yeah, I'm not getting how to actually the start and how to think in that way. So if we know at least the some basic, so later we can ask and discuss on the discourse also this thing.
Okay, okay. So, Kumar, can we discuss these things at the last?
Oh sure, okay, ma'am. As you.
I'll definitely take your question, but I think we can continue with the slides as time
Yes,
is
yes. Oh, sorry for
yeah,
that.
we have. No. I'll give get back to you, but at last, okay. I'll confirm and then I can tell you. Okay.
So,
Yeah. Okay. So where we are on white box testing and we are on box testing, right? Yes. Okay. So yeah, in the white box testing, or we can also say as glass box testing, it is the basically dependent on the application internal code structure. Okay, basically in white box testing, the internal structure or the implementation process is known, and that is the user can actually see the process that take place in this test system. So what Sharon was asking, that what is functional coverage and what is functional testing, so that thing will come into the white box testing, which is within the functional testing. So white box testing can be can have a coverage. In branch coverage we have path coverage, we have functional coverage. Let's say we have a code, right? So we had written a test case. So let's say the test case is covering the whole statement 1 to statement whatever statement it is going to, that it is covering whole statement, that we call it as statement coverage. That functional coverage is different to a functional testing. How it is different? See, functional functional coverage is something that if you are covering only the functions in the code, let's say we have in a code we have 2 or 3 functions, and our testing, whichever testing we are performing, it is covering that uh, functional part, that it will refer to as a functional coverage. Let's say we have a branch coverage. Let's say we have branches in our code. So we have branch coverage, we have path coverage. So all these kind of things are occupied in white box testing. Okay. So what is a black box testing? So in black box testing, we generally see, it is a software testing method in which testers evaluate the functionality of the software looking at the external external code structure. Okay, it is not in this testing, tester perform testing only on the functional part of an application to make sure that the behavior of the system is as expected. So yeah, this all okay. One testing is remaining, that regression testing. So in what is regression testing? So let's say regression testing is a type of testing. It is a type of testing. See, okay, I'll give you an example that will make you more understand. Let's say you have created a test case, okay, and you after some time you need to make changes in any of the unit. Let's say you want any functionality or feature to be changed, and you want to do some modification, you want to delete some part of code, so you want to change a particular piece of code. And so basically regression testing makes sure that the recent program or code change So the recent modification or the code change does not affect the existing features of the application. Okay. So regression testing we do on both the modified part of the code and the code that has not been modified. Okay. So to ensure that the existing feature will not be affected by the modified feature. Okay. So one more important thing to note over here is that regression testing involves testing of the unchanged feature of the application. As I had explained earlier, that along with the modified part, it also tested the unmodified part. Okay, but why are we testing the unchanged feature? Can anyone say? Explain. Hello.
Yes, you're
Could you
audible.
repeat?
Okay, I'm
Why we
audible.
testing what feature?
Why in regression testing? Why we are testing the unchanged features? So let's say we have a feature, we have developed a feature module, we have developed a module, and after sometimes we want to do any kind of modification in that. Okay, so regression testing we basically do on unchanged feature, not on the modified feature. Why it is then do so? Why will do so?
Uh, because can I say now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, because that see, suppose I have a some application I develop up to some extent, and
Yeah.
later I change something to add something. So just I want to see that unchanged feature means our motto is there. So is that after adding the new code, is that previous something affected or not, or it is unchanged? So we need to
Yeah.
check that, sure that it is working properly or not. If after adding or deleting something affecting the previous code, that means something somewhere is problem. I have to again revisit entire code.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. This is why we do testing of the unchanged features, such that to ensure that we have added some extra feature to the application, or if let's say we have deleted some feature for a feature, so it and after fixing that defects or that bugs, so if let's say we have some modification or we have deleted, or if we had find out some bugs or error after fixing those errors, so regression testing test that the unchanged feature of the application
But
is not affecting the. Yeah.
yes,
Hello.
yeah. But I have one question here.
Yeah.
So this testing look like mostly intuitive in nature. That person time to time they experience that they found this type of problem happens. So we do this type of testing,
Yes.
isn't it? So
Yeah.
this is the time to time it's developed by the experience. I think this.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
This.
So I have yes. So I have one question here. Suppose after we develop something, but we didn't take the all possibility of the input and output. We certainly covered the something. Even that up to that we don't know that how many the all possibility we didn't test. So how will I ensure that after adding or deleting some code and this unchanged function is working properly or not, because even we don't know before deleting the some or adding some new code. So is that
Yeah.
any way to understand or think that okay, how much I developed and this is uh, how many functionalities working there? Because many things work and we don't check all the functionality, all the possibility.
Yes.
So
So
how we
see. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay. Complete your question. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my question was that. So,
So you are asking that is there way to continuously check that if any modification is
See,
done.
yeah, see, I'm making a question the very that basic way, like that. Suppose we develop up to the some level of extent code, no, and
Okay.
we ensure that it's 20 functional, 20 operation. It's our the code is doing 20 operations, no.
Okay. Yeah.
Later, I change the some code, then I will check that this all 20 operation is working properly or not, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
For the regression testing. Now,
Yes.
question is that how will I ensure that that 20 test it is working properly? The number of 20, because we don't go all the possibility,
So
because
see. Yeah.
because that if we work suppose on the database, the two database, many to many or one to many, two table is only okay, one to many database is there, so there is a many way to update, delete, and the all possibility is there.
Yes. Yes.
So first we have to ensure that this all the functionality is working. So human, if I do manually, then it's certainly possible. It's our state of the mind that time, how much I'm concentrate on the programming. Sometimes I miss some possibilities. Sometimes someone will miss.
Yes. 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 I'm
How-
getting you.
Yeah, how will I ensure before deleting? Even I don't know before deleting or updating the code that much it's functionally
Yeah.
working properly.
Okay. Okay. So see, there is one concept of CI, continuous integration. I, uh, would you know about that?
No, pardon me.
Continuous integration.
No, not much.
Okay. 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 So see, what you are asking that let's say we have 20 features and we have developed some features and we had uh, tested them individually, but okay, someone is raising hand. Okay, Priyanshu Singh.
Ma'am, I had a small query that we, in which week did we talk about the logging session? About the logging, was there any session done for that?
See, logging in, I think it is in week 9. 10 is a testing, right? 11 is what? 11 is JavaScript, HTML, beyond HTML. I think 9, I
Ma'am, because we
am.
didn't had any coding sessions regarding the logging part. We
See,
are
we have a session, right? We have a session on logging. I think we have a session.
Yes, yes. I think week 6 or something. Tejas sir screencast is there. Some session,
Week 6 is
Tejas,
API, right? Week 7. I
not
think that is in 9.
login. I think week 5 logging is there, ma'am.
Okay, so sorry, but I am not remembering. But yeah, I think we are covered that logging part.
week 5 is actually SQL Alchemy and 6 is API. Because in week 9, I saw that in the unit when the revision session of week quiz 3 was happening.
Okay,
So I
okay.
was
Priyanshu, week 7 logging is there.
Yeah. So yeah, that
Yeah,
thing
in
I
quiz
am.
3 the logging was there. So in the revision session, sir was actually explaining by writing the code. So I thought that sir had actually told about that.
Yes. So in 7, 8, 9, I think in this 3 weeks, I think 1 week is of
Because
logging.
I can't see any session that was like for every session, every coding session happens for every part of the code, right? So I didn't see any for logging that were done, like where we are using the warning and the debugging part. That
But Priyanshu, I think we had taken one session on logging. You can see on that YouTube. We have a session on logging. We have a login required. We have on session. We have
in
on
which one
live session.
there was an error coming in the replit in that one. There was a session where in which a session was conducted and an error was coming during when it was running on replit.
Yeah, I think I had taken that session, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, on my system there was some error showing in the replit, but when I send that code to others replit, so
Ma'am,
that
was
is
that related to logging of? Because I thought that was related to logging in and out. And the one logging where we use the debugging warning, and that is a different logging, or that is same part of that?
So that is something regarding to log levels, right? So
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
so log levels we can, I think that is covered in the screencast. So in week 7, I think we have a screencast on full screencast, one video on logging. So please, you can refer to that. That is in that stages, sir has been explained that how many kind of how we configure logging level, and how many kind of logging level we have, and yeah, that kind of thing he covered on in that screencast. Okay, so you can easily refer to that screencast. We have logging and debugging both individual video, I as far as I remember. Yeah,
Okay, okay, ma'am.
you can see that, please, and if possible, if you are not finding that, please write it on discourse.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. So what I was saying, Kumar, right? Hello.
Continuous
Yes.
integration.
So yeah, I was telling about continuous integration, right?
Yeah.
So see, there is a one concept of continuous integration. So see, uh, it is a very vast concept, but I'll let you know in some very common points. See, in continuous regression, it is you are telling about the manual testing. Let's say you have missed some test cases, then what will happen, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, after testing all the functionality, and the functionality is working fine, and after that, if you had missed some test cases, what will happen? So see, in continuous integration, let's say you have a I'll tell you in industry terms. Let's say you are working in a company, and are we have given a module. Say we have 4 to 5 developers in a team, and each developer is given a separate module to work with. Okay, so every developer is writing code on uh, different module. So see, in continuous integration, we have a concept of automated testing. So what it does is that at the time a developer ends writing coding, he or she can post it, or he and she can update it in a repository. Okay, so there, as the moment you add your code to the git repository, it will basically perform automated test. Okay, the the time you see, let's say you have worked on a module, and you have tested it on your local computer, or everything is working fine. Now after that also, it will go to a automated testing in case of CI. So the point, every developer is completed their code, and he will integrate it in that git repository, and it will uh, automatically go to the automated testing. Okay, so it will ensure that all the functionality will is working fine
This
or not.
automated test means, can you explain more?
See, automated testing is something which is basically done by the machines, and manual testing is human. See, so let's say I will give you an example. Let's suppose that I am a developer. Okay, I am developing a feature or a module. So let's say we have I am working in a company. Okay, so I have given that you have to complete this module in 1 week, and you all have to integrate your code, and then at last day of the week, you it will go for the automation testing. Automation testing means that after the manual testing, is there it is a way that a developer had not have to remember every test cases. Okay, it is not possible that a developer can, or a manual person can test every test cases. Okay, so after manual testing, if anything will remain, it will goes into the automated testing, and it will easily be caught in the automated test. It is very basic. It is generally done by the machines, and if anything, any developer had uh, missed in any test cases or anything, it is, any industry will go. It is a practice that, yeah, after integrating all the test cases and all the functional testing, it will goes to automatically to the automated testing. Okay, and in CI, everything is done. Today we are performing CI, so every developer is continuously going into the automated test cases, and let's say he or she will find a bug, so it will basically caught that bug, and then again that code will go to the automated test cases, and this process will continue until the software is bug free, and this is basically taken place with the help of machines. So it is not very very much to understand that what is automated testing and how it works. But yeah, you can easily refer many kind of resources on that uh, internet, or any kind of resources that they will tell you in brief that how these things work in automated testing, how it works. But will I will giving you that very small description that in CI concept, every developer before integrating their code will go onto the continuous integration process, sorry, continuous integration, automated testing process, in order to test their code after the functional testing that he has tested locally. So you can refer to any source that how it will basically working within it. It is a very vast concept, and you have to learn it by yourself, and it will be very beneficial if you learn it by yourself. So yeah, it is a way that if you miss any test cases, or anything after the test cases you have written, that as a developer, if you have written any test cases and all the functionality is running very good in that test cases and it passed, after that also we have a way to fix sorry, we have way to test our code. Okay. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Getting. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so this is all about testing. Let me go to the, okay. So yeah, let me go to the next question. Can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. So this is the question. Very basic question, but I just want to hear you all, what you think about it. Yeah, so one more thing, I just want to share that. See, one point regarding automated testing, it is just hit in my mind, so I just want to share that. See, in automated testing, what the test scripts test script under the automated testing is being written in advance. This is very important point. If you can think of, see, we had a code, we have a test script that is we in advance. So that's why in automated test cases, we does not have to write the code again and again to just configure our test cases, unit test cases. So we have something that we can write it in advance. Something is there in which is script which is written in the advance, and we can easily uh, do our testing in the automated test environment. The test can vary a lot of complexity. Okay. Okay, we have two answers. Okay, involves running on application on a server or device production environment after user acceptance test and after development phase is completed. Okay, moving a project to an online server where some action can be performed on it worldwide. After successfully running the application at local machine using the development server like Heroku, the try to push the entire application and check whether the application can be accessed over inet and running successfully without errors. Yeah. So see, this is the thing that is somewhere advanced concept, right? These all things that you have written, yeah, that all is the concept behind the deployment, but these are kind of advanced concept. If I will ask you some basic concept regarding deployment, that why we need deployment, why we do deployment, that what will your answer? This is something that what is deployment?
Make it accessible.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, so yeah, this thing that you all had given here is something like what is deployment? And if I will ask you that why we need deployment and why do we do deployment? Why we so see, whenever we build an application, the first thing that we do in our mind that what is I'm talking about the building an application. The first thing I have in my mind is that idea. First thing I have an idea and which kind of application I am going to develop, what kind of requirement it has, and this kind of thing. Okay, so this all this all thing is the first thing we do in order to make an application. So let's say whenever you build an application, you only been able to access them. Let's say you have written your code and it is on local environment, right? On local environment, and you are the only one who can access them on your computer. And this is what is called the local development environment. You are using your id, you are using your whatever replit you have using PyCharm, any kind of id, you are using your own system to store your files, not a database, this kind of. So whenever working on your local host, your application code lives on your computer and is accessed by you only. So suppose you had developed an application and it is running very fine on your computer, and you just want that other people will also use that. Okay, so how do you do that? You just it is possible. If it is not possible that you go to each and everyone's house and knock their door and ask them, please use my application, it is working fine, it is very good, please you should use it. this kind of thing, it is not feasible, right? So now what happened? So this is one aspect. So let's say what happened if your internet connectivity broke, and what happened if your computer shuts down accidentally. So this kind of thing, here the deployment comes into picture. Okay, so here we will take your local application and release it to the user, and you need to make it available to a public computer, and this public computer has nothing but the web servers. Okay, so these are the dedicated web servers which will keep your application code. They will run it and deliver pages to anyone who requested them. I'm talking about the users, the clients. So the process of moving your code from the computer, your local computer, to the remote public host is called the deployment. And this is what we needed deployment. So we just, of course, we uh, do not want that we had developed one application and it is accessible by us only. So this is a need of deployment. I'm just talking about the need of deployment. How do you do deployment? What do you need by sorry, what do you mean by deployment? Yeah, this is the thing you had written here. Yeah, this is perfectly fine, but this is the need of deployment. So this the deployment allows other computers across the internet to access it, access your code, access your application, so that when you deploy your application to a remote application to the user, they also use it, and they also yeah, they also use it and make changes, sorry, suggest updates to your application and this kind of thing. This is only possible when you are giving them access. So yeah, this is something that is why we need deployment. So okay, so yeah, this is our second question. So let's, okay, can I move to next question? Hello.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is my third question, and I want everyone to answer, please. What is build and deployment process? I'm not talking about how to deploy on Heroku, on website. No, I'm not asking that much advanced question. I'm just asking you basic thing. What is build? Build is a term. If we talk about a software engineering background, it is a term. So what is a build and what is a deployment process? So this both terms are interconnected, but you can separate it and answer also if you are not aware of the process that linking those two terms. Okay, we have one answer with us. I'm waiting for the another.
I think we can discuss on this.
Okay. So see. So let me go to my paint. Okay, so let me first read it. Build means to compile the project. Deploy means to compile the project and publish the output. For web application, no need to deploy or nothing need to do at client side except simple browser with URL. Okay, why this is appearing? Okay. Okay. Build, a developer commit code to a software repository. Code changes should be integrated into environments that match the production environment. Deploy, in this stage, the application is deployed to production and available to user. Okay, code changes should be integrated into environments that match the production environment. Okay. So yeah, this says compile and publish the output. Compile and publish the output. This is deployed, right? Okay, so I'll tell you that what is build, what is deployment process, deployment, and what is the interconnection. Why we are asking this two terms. Okay, so first let me erase this. Okay. So see, so okay, before going on to the in much detail about what a deployment process is and how exactly, let me first write build. So, so see, before going into what is a deployment process, how exactly a developer team or dev team and a QA team work together, how exactly a QA team is getting the build, how they are testing on it, how they are raising a bug while testing, and after fixing that bug, how they are giving it to the next environment, how the final feature is deployed to the production environment. Before going on to all this, just we have just have to develop discuss what is a build. So let's see what do I mean by build in terms of software software development. Okay, so I'm not going very deep into this, but let me give you basic, a simple overview of what a build is. Okay, so whenever a developer write a code, whenever a developer write a code, let's say there is some code. Okay, so they try to compile the code and compress the code into a particular file or folder. This compressed file or folder, let's say this compressed file or folder, compressed file or compiled file, this is nothing but the build. So now the question arises that why a developer need to compress and compile the code. We know that yeah, this is done. Okay, a build is a compressed file or this is a compiled file, but why? Why a developer do that? So to understand the compilation, let us take a short example. Let let us consider of an organization where the project team, let's say project team got a detail about the work which they have to deliver after some time. Okay, the project manager discusses the requirement with their dev team, and now the developer within that team had assigned some different modules for same features, so that whole program can build in sufficient time. Okay, they have been divided into some module. Okay, in case the development process will fasten. So for example, let's say we have a feature of we have a client LED. Sorry, Nokia. In the previous example, we are taking the example of Nokia. So let's say we have a feature of LED in the Android. One module is assigned to one developer. This LED feature is assigned to one developer. He has to ensure that the LED light will turn off whenever the charger will get plugged. And another module is, so this is one module. Another module is assigned to another developer, that the color of the LED change to red if there is low battery and so on. This kind of feature. Okay, this is a kind of feature that project manager is assigning to the different developers. So as soon as they all finish writing the code and run the tests on their local machine. So let's say one developer has finished code earlier and second is finishing code sometime later. So as long as all the tester are testing in their own machine and the functionality is working fine, so here under the process of compilation, they simply compile their file. All the developers that is working on that Android So they compile and integrate their file, their code, basically the code, with the main version control repository. So this is the thing I'm talking about, that let's say we have a developer 1 and developer 2 and developer 3. All these developers are integrating their code in where, let's say this is a Git repository, or this is a repository. And here all the developers are integrating their code. Okay. So one very important point to note over here is that this what I'm explaining that compilation. Okay. So very important point to note over that here is that in compilation, the human readable programming language. So let's say this developer written his code in Java. This developer is written his code in Python. This developer in some other programming language. So this compilation process, this is a compilation process into before this compilation process ensures that the human readable programming language such as Java, Python, etc. will efficiently convert into this that a language into this which the system understand. So what a system understand? Binary format. Okay. So in the 0 or 1 format. So this compilation basically done just to ensure that the human readable programming language is converted into the language that the system can understand. Okay. So after knowing what a compilation, this is a compilation. Okay. What is a build? Build is nothing but the file or folder that a developer compressed and compiled. This is a file and folder that a developer must develop after compression and compilation. So compilation we have understood. So what is compression? So let's see what I mean with the compression. So now after integrating the code from each developers in a single file or folder, the compression basically do a what it do? It compress the whole final folder and decrease the size of the code. So after the compilation and compression, the build is ready. Okay. So see, from the developer point of view, it is nothing but a code. But from the tester point of view, it is a build. Okay. So this is what we called a build. So build in simple words is just a piece of code for developers, but it is when after the compilation and compression it becomes a build. So yeah, this is all about the build. So
compilation, it was clear. After compilation,
yeah,
is there any process for compression, or is something like in crude terms zip kind of thing?
yes. So see, this is a process which is done by some tool. So we have a tool just such as Jenkins, we have Bitbucket, with the help of which we can take a code from the developer and you can actually compile and compress it and make it and build.
No, like there are different developers working in different languages, and all of it goes into compilation, and that becomes a single entire piece of code, correct?
Yes. It
that
is
that is compilation after so after that is compressed.
Yes.
No,
It is a format of WAD file, ZAR file kind of compressed
so
file.
basically it's kind of crude compression which we generally do in with all other files.
Yes. Similar kind of stuff.
And that compressed file is called the build.
Yeah, that compiled and compressed file is called a build. A simple code that is written by a developer is just a code. But we in our software industry, we have a tool such as Jenkins and
Yes, so
Bitbucket.
after the entire team has worked on the project and entire thing collected and compiled, so basically that is the working
called a
thing.
build. Yeah, that is called a build.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah. So now, after discussing what a build is, let's see what a deployment process is. Okay, so okay, so see, let's suppose we have a. I'm discussing the deployment process. Okay, sorry. So see, let's say I have a company. See, I have a company XYZ. Okay, let's suppose any XYZ company. Let's say we have any e-commerce company. Okay, any Flipkart, Amazon, kind of. So here you are a part of a particular team. So suppose in that company number of teams are working simultaneously. So we have multiple teams, right? See, this is one team, this is another team, this is another team. Okay, this is another team. We have many teams working simultaneously. Let's say this is a login team, this is a payment team, this is a order management team, this is some team. Okay, so within each team, different team, we have developers, we have engineers, we have testers. Okay, we have developers, we have testers. Okay, so what the developer do, they basically create number of features. Okay, so let's suppose in team one the developers within the team developed a feature. So let's say feature 1 F1. So what exactly happens is that this particular feature F1 is ready, means this is done. The within that let's say we have a D1, D2, D3 developer over here in this particular team. So they all had worked on this feature which name is payment. Let's say payment in online mode and this kind of feature. Okay, so now let's say feature name is payment via online mode. Once this feature will be ready, what exactly this developers, let's say D1, D2, D3, they what basically once this feature will get developed immediately, what happens that they will deploy these features to on a dev environment. Okay, so we have a dev environment here. We have a dev environment. So this feature is deployed on the environment. So what exactly a environment is? So this particular environment means that environment used by developers. Okay, on which the developer runs unit level test cases, other types of testing the developer will do in this development environment. Okay, so let's say we have a after that developer environment we have another so this on this developer environment the tester cannot perform any operations. It is basically for developers. So after writing code and after finishing a feature or module, basically a developer will test all the unit test cases and on this developer environment. After that we have a QA environment. Okay, so we have a QA environment. So what is this QA environment? So this QA environment, we basically we have QA engineers, or we can say that the testers. So what QA engineers do? QA engineers perform some kind of manual testing here, and this QA engineers test the features test the feature is working fine or not. They basically do the functional testing that the features is working properly or not, and all kind of stuffs. Okay, so according to that, uh, uh, all the testing that a tester performs, he or she write a user story. So what is a user story? So let's say a user story is nothing but a short description of a feature in the software system. So let's say we have a tester and he had raised some of the bugs or errors in the code or in the software that has been passed from the dev environment to the QA environment. So on the basis of that errors, QA engineers write some user stories. Let's say we have some 2 to 3 bugs in that software. So let's say uh, QA engineers write 3 user stories on depending on that bugs. Okay, so user stories, after that, the purpose of user story is to write down how a project will perform from the user perspective. Okay, so the tester will basically do a testing corresponding to the user perspective. So now let's say they had written 3 user stories, and they this on the basis of this 3 user story, let's say some test had been performed. Okay, so who will perform the test? Dev- it will goes back to the uh, developers. Sorry, it will go back to the developers. Okay, it will go. The code will go back to the developers, and the developer will fix the bug and whatever the user story is. So after fixing the bug, it will again come into the dev environment and will again go into QA environment. So this process is just continuous. The moment a QA engineer is satisfied that yeah, okay, now the software is working fine, the everything is all right. So all the test cases will be implemented successfully, and so now it will goes into a another environment. Okay, so now this here in a QA environment, basically the tester do component testing. So what is component testing? So see, all the all the feature. Let's say this team is working on F1. Let's say this team is working on F2, and this team is working on F3. This is a feature. Okay, this is a separate feature. So all these features will go at the dev environment first, and then the QA environment. So in at the QA environment, what we'll do, we'll generally perform a component testing of each of the feature present there. Okay, so every feature will come to that QA environment, and every feature is tested one by one or simultaneously that yeah, okay, this is working fine or not. So now this component testing is done by the tester, and this on particular feature is working fine. Uh, it is the responsibility of a tester to test all that component testing or module testing. So there is another environment after that. If everything is working fine, then the tester will QA engineer will deploy that application onto a another environment, which is a stage environment. This is a stage environment. So are so see, before going further, let's assume we have a number of other features. We have F1, F2. So let's say what exactly is happening here is that these features one by one will deployed on each and every environment. Okay, as I explained you earlier, that every feature will firstly go to the dev environment, then it will go to the QA environment, and these features also go to the dev environment, and then it will go to the QA environment. So again, the QA team will write user story for this features, user story for this feature, and on the basis of that user story, it will continuously go to that developer of that particular team who developed that specific feature, and they will fix the bug. It will again go to the dev environment, and it again go to the QA environment. This is a continuous process until that QA engineer is fully satisfied that yeah, this is now working fine, and it is ready to go to the stage environment. So now that after the QA environment, what is the stage environment? On stage environment, all the feature, whatever number of feature is present, is along with the bug fixes. Along with the bug fixes, if any feature is not working properly, it will again go to that developer of the particular team. Then it will go to the dev team. It will go to the QA team, and then on the stage, on every environment, it is just going back if any bug is coming. Okay, so see, on stage testing we generally do regression testing. Okay, so on stage testing, what we'll do, we do generally regression testing. On QA environment, what we are doing is we are testing as a module, as a component. So we are performing a component testing. On the stage testing, what we are doing, we are performing a regression testing. So if it will check that if because of merging of the new features or fixing of the bugs, maybe it is possible that there may be a chance that other features are not working properly. So we will do a complete regression testing is at this stage environment, at this stage environment. So yeah, one more thing is, this stage environment is not yet production environment. It is a kind of a dummy production environment. It is not a fully production environment. It is just a replica. So yeah, so now if on doing the regression testing, if we found that any number of bugs, we'll have to fix it, and it again will be deployed on the first at the dev. As I had explained that if any bugs we will encounter, it will go back to the developers, and it will then go to the dev team, and then on the QA team, and then in this stage environment. This is the continuous process, right? So yeah, so again we'll fix that and deploy it on the one by one on the environment. And finally, when we see that everything is fine in the stage environment, all the bugs are now being corrected, all the then what we do, we deploy everything on production environment. So this is the environment. This is what production environment. So production environment or prod environment basically means the live environment on which the actual user is basically using that app. Okay, so in production environment, once the deployment is done, we still so one thing I had to ask you that is at the production environment, is any kind of testing we will perform, or is just the final thing that we had kept?
If end user is using the application, then
Yes.
it's after the testing only we deploy it production.
Yes. Yeah. So see, yeah, this is very much possible that, or after all the kind of testing we had, uh, we had our application at the prod environment. But see, some of the cases at some of the industry, in some of the companies, in the production environment also, they do a sanity check. Okay, sanity
So
test,
I mean,
or
it's kind of beta version,
sorry.
kind of beta version, and before releasing the fully
Uh,
commercial.
yes, you can say that. So they perform a smoke test, or you can say that a basic sanity test. It is not very much kind of regression testing, or we can't say just like that. It's just a very minimal kind of testing that, yeah, okay, this is functionality is fine. See, in sanity check, very main features or basic features, very basic features like login page is opening or not, the user is able to log in into the application or not. These are the basic feature, right? If this will not work, that it will be a disaster for any application to deploy or kind of thing. So very basic kind of thing is tested in under the sanity check. So yeah, most of the time it is not done, but we can do a basic sanity test over time. And we have a basic sanity tool which we try to find out that those bugs are catched by, if any of the bugs are not catched by any of the testing, so it can be catched here, but it is very rare that sanity test or smoke testing. So now, on this live production environment, the moment you push your code to the production environment, now the environment will directly used by the actual customer which are available in the market, right? So basically, in the whole deployment process, this is the whole deployment process. In this whole deployment process, we have mainly four environments, right? Called the dev environment, which is used by the developers. This is environment. Second is the QA environment, which is used by the tester for component testing. Then we have a stage environment. Stage environment is basically done for the regression testing. And then we have a production environment that is used by the actual customer and used for sometimes used for basic sanity test. So this is the whole deployment process. Okay. So see, this code that goes this code that goes into the dev environment, this is nothing but the build. So that's why the question is, what is build and deployment process? So this is the build that all the developers among the team are not going to submit their code one by one to the dev environment. Before going to the dev environment and before going to the process, all the deployment process, they have first have to integrate that their code, compress it that such that the less memory space they will take, and compile it in a binary format such that the system will understand this language. And then this build, or we can say that code, piece of code or a collection of code or file, any kind of thing that will go to a dev environment. So yeah, this is all about this deployment process. So if anyone wants to ask something, they can ask. Let me go to the, okay. Stop sharing. Okay, yeah. So, hello. So is there any confusion in that last question, deployment process?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So where are your Viva starting from first, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you all booked your slot, or anyone is remaining?
Not started yet since.
Okay, slots are not started yet. Okay.
They saved in that.
Okay. So okay, that is fine. From 1st of December, you have Vivas, and Vivas will go till 10th, right? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
So how you are preparing for your end semester? You're preparing, right? How's the preparation going?
complete the project first.
Okay, yeah. So see, for my request you to please come in the next two sessions is very very important, and you might expect sir, professor sir, on the Friday session, and any confusion regarding anything that you had encounter and not been answered by any of any of the live session and any kind of thing, you can ask him. And we are also planning to have a session on how to perform deployment and how to use.
Ma'am, there were two more questions. So we discussed three questions only today. Till now.
Yeah, there is one more question. That is CI, continuous integration. So, are you? If it is fine, that I'll discuss it also.
Let us discuss that.
Okay, okay. So let me first. I think I thought that you guys might had some studies work or kind of thing. As you have going through multiple things. So, okay, so this, yeah. As I had given you some glimpse of CI, so it will be very easy for you to answer this. But still, please go on. What do you mean by continuous integration? Uh, my screen is visible, right? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. You can answer now. Okay, one answer is there. As the development process is ongoing, pieces together all the developed parts and integrate within entire process on continuous basis. Okay, integration of code from multiple contributors into a single project. Okay. Okay. So yeah, continuous integration is the practice of merging all the developers' working copies to a shared mainline into a single software project. Okay, okay. So yeah, let me go to the paint screen. Yeah, I had read all of your answers, and they are all look fine. I just want to exaggerate some more things. Okay. So our question is, what is CI? Okay. So see, before understanding what is CI, let us first understand why it comes. Okay. Why it comes, what is the reason behind that CI is used, and why this is so popular nowadays, CI practices. Okay. So now let's talk about waterfall model, which is from at the very beginning of this session, I had told you that it is kind of SDLC model, waterfall model. So the waterfall approach was the first SDLC model, and after that agile model came, and that is we are using agile model nowadays. So in which the whole process of the software development is divided into separate phases, right? I have discussed that we have a requirement gathering phase, we have a design phase, we have a development phase, we have a testing phase, we have a last which we have a maintenance phase, right? In the waterfall model. So here it is happening that whole process of the software development uh, is happening at the separate phases. The outcome of one phase act as an input for the next phase. Okay, there is an arrow in between all the phases, right? As we have remembered from the uh, discussion. So yeah, every outcome of one phase act as the input of the next phase. What does this mean? This means that when one uh, phase is completed completely, then after it will go to the next phase. Okay. Uh, then if the operations under that phase are completely happened, that it then it will goes to the next stage. This is what we will see in the waterfall model. So let's suppose you have a client, okay, and they want you to build a project. Let's say you have client and customers, and they say that they want a project from you. And now in this case, let's say the project is very long and complex. Okay, very long and complex, and we are using a waterfall model for our software development process. So what will happen as a project is very long and complex? So let's say we have very long project that is being given by the client to us. So let's say it will take 1 year, maximum 2 years, 5 years, 5 years. Okay. So according to the waterfall model, as long as we have completed the product or the application completely, we can't handle it to the end user or the client. Okay. So now in this case, we cannot ask our client that, listen, client, please wait for 5 years and I'll be right back to you, and I'll be giving you the final product after 5 years. So this is I don't think this is a very good practice. So it is very much possible that due to this gap in communication, let's say you have taken the gap of 5 years, and your client has given you permission. Okay, after 5 years, I will come to you and you'll give me that project that I had given to you. So let's say there no communication in between, and after 5 years gap, you'll come to your client and you'll give to them their project. So what is disadvantages here?
No feedback in between.
Yeah, so no feedback in between, and you are going to them and they say, okay, but I don't want this, I don't want this kind of thing which you are giving me, I want that. This kind of problems is very common in this kind of model, waterfall model, that will never expect, the client will never expect and never will imagine what you are developing. So he is asking something and you are developing and you are giving him something. So for correcting this, you need a continuous feedback, right? Continuous feedback from whom? From the client, from the customer. And that is why a different approach is nowadays very vastly used, which is called agile approach. So after the waterfall model, we have agile. So in agile, what we are doing? In agile, we are giving our clients a ready product in every 2 to 3 weeks, and not the entire product. Okay, so see, it is very much obvious that if you are giving someone some developers very long project, which is taking, which may take very much very long time, so it is not possible to make that project in 2 to 3 weeks, right? So in agile model, what we do, we as a developer will give our client a ready product in every 2 to 3 weeks or in 1 month. Not the entire project, we'll give a module. Okay, but the parts of it. Will not give a fully functional project to them. So let's say you have 3 features, and you can give one feature only out of it. In this approach, we are assuming that we are only giving them one feature in 1 month or 2 to 3 weeks. This kind of thing. We have many features in a project. We have, let's say we have 20 features, and we are giving one features at the time to the client. So here, what is the advantage over there here? That you will give a continuous feedback from the client. Let's say you give them the product in 2 to 3 weeks, and the client will communicate to you and say that, hey, I don't want this, it is wrong, it is right. This kind of thing they can communicate with you, and this is very much feasible, right? This is very much possible that a developer will accept that bug and accept that error and fix it, and give that fixed software back to the client and ask him, okay, so this is the thing you are asking for, and they say, yeah, now it is fine. This kind of continuous communication is very much possible, and it is a good practice. So now let us see this thing in another way. It is a one aspect of seeing why we need a continuous integration. So now we have a second approach. This is a first approach of seeing this. We have a second approach also. So now let us see. Now let's say you are working on a project, and the project is divided into multiple modules. So see, we have a project and we have a multiple modules. We have a multiple modules, and we have a team. We have a team. Let's say we have a team, and within that team there are multiple developers working on different assigned module. Let's say we have a D1, we have a D2, we have a D3, and we have a D4, and this particular team, this is a particular team. So D1 is assigned to these features, D2 is assigned with these features, and every developer is assigned to independent feature. Okay, now of course all the 3 developers will work together. Sorry, as many as the developer you have in that particular team, all the developers will work together in order to complete that feature or module completely successfully, right? So they will have to integrate their code somewhere, as like integration testing. We can say that in integration testing we also uh, integrate that code, but here we are integrating code only, we are not testing it yet. So they will have to integrate their code somewhere. Who is the operational team? The operational team will, the person, hello, hello,
Yes, you're audible.
uh I don't know, I'm audible, right?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Okay, sorry, there is a pop-up on my screen that your internet connection is unstable. Okay, so yeah, so suppose yeah, so of course all the developer will here they are working together, and they need a place, they need a place where they can integrate their code such that the operational team, and who are the operational team? The operational team is the team which will take that project and deploy it on the server. Which server? uh, Development server, QA server, and that kind of environment. All the environment, I am taking it as a server. Okay, so that operational team will take your code in some integrated format. They will not going to each and every developer and ask that, are you done, are you done, okay, give me that. So this is not feasible. So here what they are doing, they are integrating a code one place, and such that the operational team will go uh, take their code at once, and will go it to each and every server, and perform the testing that we have discussed earlier. So now suppose one of the developer, let's say, one of the developer missed to integrate his code. Let's say we have a 4 developers and 3 of them integrated and one developer will miss. So now what will the solution now? So here the automation testing comes into place. Okay. So see, automation testing is nothing but a test script which is running, which is written in advance by some developers or some kind of person. So these are pre-written scripts and they are running it in such a way, it is running in the machine in such a way that if anything that is missed by a single developer, it will caught by the automation testing, or if it is not caught by the manual testing, it will goes into the automation testing automatically and it will caught here. So it is a nowadays we are preferring automation testing because manual testing is very much possible that we can miss some test cases, or we miss some bug fixes and this kind of thing. So in automation testing, it is not possible to miss any test cases. It is of course it is run by machine, so it is very much preferable over manual testing. But manual testing is also at the same level, but yeah, automation testing is nowadays it is preferable. So yeah, so now let's suppose all the developers are given 1 week time to integrate their code, let's say. Okay, so we had discussed automated testing, how this D1, if this developer one had missed that an integration of code into that file or folder, who will take care? Automation testing will take care that okay, you had missed, okay, I'll do it on your behalf. So now let's say we have a one so let's suppose all the developers are given 1 week time to integrate their code. Okay, and all the code will be integrated on the last day. So everyone is asked that, see, you have 1 week of time, and you all have to submit us your project or your feature in 1 week on Friday, and you have to integrate it and then submit it. This kind of thing they are asking. Okay, so let's say last day comes on Friday. Friday we have integrated and further goes to automated testing. Okay, on let's say this is Friday, and all the integrated codes will go to the automated testing. So let's say we have some bug. Okay, so in automated testing also we had caught some bug. Okay, after the testing that done by the developers independently on their local machines, in automated testing also they caught a bug, and we had no time. Okay, we had no time to fix it because on Friday the customer is ready to take their feature, use their feature, and it is almost Friday and I have no time to fix it. So it is not very much good practice to wait for the entire week. Let's say you have a Saturday, Sunday, almost no one wants to work, right? So let's say that developer uh, in the code of which it is a bug, so that developer will wait for that whole week, the next week, to fix the bug, right? This kind of problems very often that we can face in the industry, that at the last phase, if you had faced some of the bugs, how will you correct it? You do not have the time to correct, right? So now, so to solve this problem, we have one process. Okay, we have one process called a CI. Now in CI, or the continuous integration, here the developers is very much had given a very much freedom and is able to integrate their modules continuously. Let's say, so here what is basically happening, whenever you finish your code, let's say D1 finished his code on Tuesday. He has written code and tested it in 2 days. D2 had tested and written and tested it on Wednesday, and D3 on Thursday. All the three developers had completed their code on it is not very much important that you have completed your code previous at early or at later. So in continuous integration, what we have done, the time you finished working on a particular module and you think that it is working properly on your test cases on your local system, it is working properly in your unit cases, just submit or just commit it into a repository. So we have a Git repository. Okay, so the main advantage of this process is that, let's say you have 5 developers and all the people are committing to the server at different time, and every time they commit, there will be a automation test. So at the end of the week, let's say at the end of the week, they already had gone through multiple tests, multiple automation tests, and it is very much possible that at the end of the week or at the Friday, there will be no bug. The code is very much ready for the client to use, and that is the main benefit of that continuous integration, that it is not important that you have given a time and then only you have to integrate and then only have to goes into the automation testing. No, we can uh, integrate it in a Git repository, and we can commit it, and it will goes to the automation testing. It will goes to in for the automation testing, and we'll be having a ready project without any bugs, which is already tested at the end of the week. This is very much feasible and very much possible, and it is a good practice. So CI basically means that instead of committing at the end of the case after a week, the moment you have written the code, the moment you think it is working for you in the unit case, commit it so that it will go for a automation test and you will be ready with the final module to submit at the end of the week. It is very good practice. So now, so one more aspect of taking the CI is that, see, now if we take previous example, I think I had deleted that previous example. So how do I explain? Okay, I don't have that history also. So see, we have a tools called Jenkins, right? CI Jenkins. It is a tool, it is a software tool. So what it'll do, it will continuously integrate your code into that Git into the repository, and will Git repository, so that the group of developers working on it particular features, their entire code will be maintained on the Git repository. They will be merged the code in the master branch. So what is master branch? So master branch is a branch in a Git. Let's say we have a master branch. So master branch is a branch in a Git in which all the changes eventually get merged back. So the master branch is a main branch. So I'll explain you that why I'm telling that eventually changes get merged. So see, master branch is a default branch. It is a default branch is a Git repository, and some team created their, let's say we have a F1 feature. Okay, so we have a F1 feature, we have a F1 to F2 feature, and all that F3 features. So at the time that feature is completed by the developer, it will goes into the master branch and it will integrate, okay, into the master branch. All the feature one by one, the time they will integrate in the master branch. And this, see, F1 will be merged into the master branch. If some team completed working on F2, it will merge with the master branch, and so on. So master branch is the main branch already there in the production. So we'll be merge all the features F1, F2, F1, F2, and F3 with the master branch. Now master branch will be having all these features once all these features are merged, here QA will be involved in every stage. Sorry. So now the time it is merged into the master branch, an automated testing, or we can say that a QA testing. In QA testing, we had involved both manual testing and we can do in both ways, manual testing and automated testing. It is also possible. So at each stage, at the time the particular feature will merge into the master branch, it will go through a QA testing. Okay. So once all the features are done, let's say we have 100 of features, and whenever it is done, let's say at this point it is all done. Okay. So we do a complete regression testing. So after the QA testing, we had discussed that on the stage environment, we had our regression testing, right? So after the QA testing, we have at this stage, let's say we have a regression testing, and after that regression testing, which is able, we are very much, uh, we are very much, now this is what? Production environment. Okay. This after this stage testing, this is stage testing, or this is production. So all these things are happening through CI process, right? So this all the integration thing, continuous integration, this is all continuous integration. Master repository and all the things are continuous integration. So yeah, it will, that's it for the continuous integration. If anyone wants to ask something, they can. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So are you comfortable with the concept of CI?
Yeah, like you said in the beginning, after this session, week 12 contents will be a little easy.
Yeah. So see, you already know that what is deployment. You know that what is functional testing, non-functional testing, how the deployment process will work, how many kind of environment is present in the deployment. This is all. These are very basic kind of thing. You can easily search through the internet, and you can get the resources. But see, before going onto the session of the prof session, or how do we basically do deployment practically on any kind of server, these are very basic concept, but this basic concept will definitely uh, strengthen your concepts regarding what deployment and what is testing and how it has been done, or how is it is implemented. So yeah, this session, after this session, you must be familiar with some of the concepts. So this is of course not very much very short session. Two hours is not very much uh, required for such a broad concept, but yeah, some of the things you uh, definitely you will be familiar. So yeah, so this is the last session, I think. Yeah, no, this is the first session. Two more session you will have in this week. So please, I'll request you.
Deployment, the session on actual deployment,
Yeah.
when will that happen? On Saturday?
See, no. We are planning. We are not yet decided that it is on which day, and it is not fixed. Okay, not fixed. But we are
So
planning.
will there be some extra session for deployment, or?
See, I am not sure, Bimlesh, but we are planning as we are planning within the team that this is the last week, and we had to have a session on how to deploy things. But yeah, it is not fixed. If it is feasible that we can do, and if it will be
Yeah,
not,
okay. Otherwise, it will be carried over in next term.
yes, this will be possible because everyone is very busy with that Viva and all.
And if stuck somewhere in the final project, we can approach you.
Yeah, you can approach, you can write it on discourse. We can see there, and you can approach us also. You can ask to the prof is coming. So yeah, this week we are planning, but it is not sure, so I can't tell you the date or day.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so can we end the session?
Yeah, please. Thank you for the session.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you all. Sir, can we close the session?